Alright, here we are on day 2. Yesterday I took the day off and did some brainstorming on the window. Because that whole window mess is just a big mess. This section here is just tacked in. I need to weld the center section of the roof. I need to weld this section in first. Correct this dip. Insert the hinges, bolt the hatch on so I know the hatch fits and latches correctly. Once that's tacked, then I can tack the actual roof. Just in case I need to remove it, I'll tack it in a couple of places. Make sure it keeps its shape and its line. Then I will need to reinforce this rail to the body so it doesn't change its shape. Reinforcements here. I'm going to add some in the corner over here just because, even though there's no sheet metal here, but this moves around a lot. And I'm just going to add some more in there just to be on the safe side. And here is my window idea. I even cut the window out. As you can see, the bottom kind of follows the curve of the body. So this kind of copies this curve here. That's what I really wanted to do. Copy the lines. I think that little subtle curve makes a huge difference. Then I ran a curve, fair line, as they say in the boats. I need a fair line from here down to the end, and then 2-inch here. I'm gonna box this section in from the inside, replace this aluminum capping with steel so I can weld it and reinforce it all the way on the inside. And then this whole section here with the drip rail is going to get chopped off. So once I reinforce this piece so it doesn't move around with the hatch in place, this whole section is going to get chopped off. I'll probably just do the whole thing in tape like the window. And then just make this whole piece out of one piece and blend it in somehow. Once I get to that point, I'll use my slip roll and see if I can get a nice little dip in here. I may have to make a really big piece, slip roll it, get this nice curve to blend in to this curve, and then just set it up there and mark it. That's probably going to be tomorrow's problem. But once I get this tacked, I need to box this section in first, and then I need to chop this whole section out of the body. The actual body, the shell. So I need to chop this section out from the inside. I think that's the plan for today. ×2, both sides. So let's see how it goes. Alright, the roof is actually welded to each other. Roofs. It turns out pretty good. Little dip here I can probably dolly out. Still got to finish welding it all, but it's all tacked. Seams look really good. I'm going to need to get a new latch. This latch looks like it's worn out, and I need to adjust it down a little bit. It latches, but it sticks up, so I just need to have it a little deeper. So that turns out really, really, really nice. So the next thing I need to do is support this structure on the inside, then I can chop this whole side off. But in the meantime, I had this weird idea once I took this vent off. Where should I put the fuel filler? Should I hinge it and put a filler cap?
I'm not very good at hinges, or making hinges. This is just from my old Civic. Just kind of tacked it on that bar and I don't know. I wasn't planning to keep these vents, but it was just a stupid idea that I just screwed a bracket on there. It would be kind of cool to have it hidden, but I don't think I'm going to keep these vents. If I take this whole side off, I'm not going to have the vents. I could still weld them into some other project or somewhere else or something. I'll save them. But the quarter window and all that's going to go. Anyway, just an idea. Anyway, that looks really nice. Really, 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 really nice. Alright, now for some reinforcements, and I'll chop this whole side off. See if I can pattern, and here's my window. Here's my window. Here's my window. This will be my window. Can't see it because it's clear. But anyway. Spent a bunch of time using masking tape to get that window shape the way I like it. Used some steel rod and bent it from the roof line drip rail all the way back, and then kind of copied that curve. Ran a bunch of shapes, you know, coming off there, so that's perpendicular. But this shape over here never was very happy. This is my first idea, which looks fine in the front, but the back just looks completely wrong. So I came up with this shape. Because if I'm going to be using the vents, it's perpendicular to that. I just painted that to see if it would look better smaller. Can't see it on camera, but that rear shape looks good. Anyway, this is a box section to be welded from the inside. That tacked in pretty good. This tacked in pretty good. Still got to finish this section, but it looks pretty good. This is basically a 90 with a bunch of nuts welded on the inside, so I can through bolt it like the rest of the fenders this way without having those flathead screws this way where the trunk lid is. And then I had to melt all this lid out. Well, not all of it. I left some of it there because that's the original shape. Just enough where I can weld it. So that turns out pretty good. So tomorrow I'll finish tack welding, grinding, then fully weld, and then grind it all back. Take this paint off. I'll probably start stripping this paint off too. Make it all clean metal. Maybe I'll flash rust it. I don't know. Still deciding on a color. Either British Racing Green or a mint green. Alright, well, time will tell, but that turned out pretty good. Alright, right side mostly complete. Turned out really nice. Still gotta do this section here. I'll worry about that later. May have to put a torch or just make a new piece, and it'll be a pain, but I'll figure that out later. Little filler where the seam is. Big window to go in. Bigger than the black. I thought it would look better smaller, but I think that size is a good size. I'll need to cut that out, recess it 1/2 inch. I even thought about putting a hinge on the front. I don't know. I'll figure that out later. Oh, maybe piano hinge? Oh. Alright, so this side's pretty good. Now I gotta do the other side. And I'll probably put the fuel filler here on the other side. This part was very difficult to make and weld in. This had a bunch of lead right here, so that's at the same level as the lead, so I'll have to do some filler. I'll hammer and dolly most of it out. But that curve, you can't really see it. Anyway, that was a nice challenge. Here's what it looked like before. Did my first woodworking for this car. Cut the shape out of the window with this plywood, so I could do both sides. So it would be the same. So the thickness of the blade of my skill saw and jigsaw was just enough for me to put a piece of sheet metal in there, like so. Work it around, hammer it in. Anyway, I did that, tacked it in, and then I took the piece of metal that was cut out from the car, stuck it in there, welded it, then cut out another hole. So I got a step. So here's my step lip. Still got to fully weld it, clean it up, hammer it out a little. But yeah, it's about a little more than half. It turns out really nice. Here it is with the window. Still gonna finish welding and cleaning it up. But that shape turned out pretty good. Nice and parallel to the B-post. That shape looks really good with all the different corners and curves around the door, including the vent. So once I put the window in there, of course it's not, well, the window is flat, but the body's not flat, so this top edge sticks out a little bit, which is fine. It actually looks pretty good. And the view from the inside, as you're driving, is just fine. So the next thing I gotta do today, hopefully, I'm gonna take all this old paint off, and I may actually mask this glass off and actually paint this. So I got some light green mixed up in a little jar, and I'm just gonna hit it as a primer to see if I like that color. But yeah, that window frame, and then on the inside, still gotta weld the inside. Oh, I can't really see it with the light, but I'll step this double, add some other pieces of metal in here, and connect this B-post to this, and just weld all those up, so it's, and then attach it to the top of the runners for the roof. Oh, you can see it over here a little better. So yeah, I'm gonna tab into the opening to the other pieces. So yeah, that looks pretty good, don't you think? I like that window shape. It's not too deep, not too shallow. I can always still add the hinge and just have that hinge out. I don't think I really need to do that. I mean, there's so much wind buffering with the no windows and no side curtains, like why even bother? It's not like I'm gonna make it go faster. Anyway, not too bad, huh? I like that shape.